Hi. Scott always tells me that we're going live, but I don't really know if I am.
Do you
All
go
right.
live?
All right, folks.
We'll touch
You want to know how to find off-market deals when everyone else is paying top dollar because the market keeps going up.
Yes.
You want to know how to find lenders that will lend these to you. Well, stay with us. We're going to help you out. I don't know. Did I not speak English?
It was a little long.
Hi, folks. Thank you, and welcome to the Passive Income Active Wealth Show. I am Bill Fairman, my sister Wendy Sweet, and Jonathan Davis. You can probably figure out which one is which.
Maybe not.
We are Carolina Capital Management. We make loans to real estate investors. Our website is carolinahardmoney.com. If you're an investor looking for passive income, then go to the investor tab. If you're a borrower, click on our apply now button. Once again, don't forget.
What's the name of our show again?
Passive Income
He's
Active
trying to
Wealth.
throw
Are
you
you
off.
sure?
Did he change it?
No, he's just
Stop
It's
messing
active
with me.
income, passive wealth. You're saying passive income.
Whatever. All right. We reach tens of people, so I'll correct it later. So, let me add. Okay, follow us. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, ring the bell, all that kind of stuff. We do have a comment section on the side or on the bottom, depending on the platform that you're watching. And don't hesitate to ask any questions. We have a wonderful group of guests. It's not really a group, it's two people.
Well, that's more than one.
They're married, so they can be a group because they have a family.
And we haven't drank anything today.
What's in her? Yeah.
I had to have a frou-frou coffee. See my cup, it says it's good to be.
But seriously, we are professionals. Sometimes.
For those who don't know, we
are crazy.
No, we purchased a new office space, and we have been moving into it for the last 3 weeks.
And this is our first time to come from the studio.
We're broadcasting out of this professional studio that isn't finished yet, and we're just tongue tied because we're so worn out from putting all this together. Okay, I'm just tongue tied. The rest of them are just giving me fits. All right, so without further ado, Amber and Glenn Schworm of VestorPRO. Good Lord, I can't speak.
Let them tell them who we are.
Thank you guys for being on our show. I'm so sorry about the way this is starting off. This is what I love about live content.
This is real estate.
I'm nervous because we're in front of tens of people.
Yeah.
I was laughing hysterically over that.
No pressure.
That was funny. Oh man, that was
Well, the good news is 12 of people will follow us after the fact because it will be permanent.
He's just kidding. We have at least 20.
Oh my Lord.
So before we got started, we were talking about the weather in the Northeast. You guys got like 3 feet of snow. So thank you so much I'm glad your power is on so we could actually do this.
That's for sure.
Yeah, we're in our master bedroom right now. We did not make it to the office today. So we'll do our best to make sure our children don't come screaming at the door, but I can't promise that won't happen.
Okay.
Well, we did say it would be a group, so it's okay.
It might get a little scary.
That is part of real life. You know, we moved into this brand new building, and well, it's not a brand new building. It's new for us. They decided to dig up the street right next to this window
No.
where we're here. And anyway, so sorry about the construction noise as well.
It was feeling like an earthquake a little earlier today. You could feel the whole building shaking.
Yeah.
You're talking about people that have been out in 3 feet of snow all day, so we don't really feel too bad for you.
Yeah, I'm only
I hear you. So give me kind of a 30,000 foot view of how you guys got started in the real estate business, if you don't mind.
out of desperation was
Yeah.
pretty much the long and short of it.
Yeah, we were, $80,000 in credit card debt, and this is back in 2007. We were both going through divorces from our spouses, and we were friends for a few years before that, but we ended up connecting and decided to do our first flip. And literally 2007, in 2008, when the housing crisis happened. I always say it wasn't just a financial crisis; it was a housing crisis that happened.
Right.
That's what we were doing, and we flipped our first house back then. Everybody said you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do this. Real estate's bad. Real estate's bad. And yeah, and we did. People have often looked back and said, we've done over 700 houses now, and counting. And our company does about 100 deals a year. And they're like, Bay, you were smart. You knew right. Well, you picked your moment. I'm like, pick my moment. We were really desperate and lucky, but we were working during that when everybody said, don't do what we did. So we did one house first year, 3, next year, then 7, then 20. And, the business has grown from there. And then, we've been doing that for 13 years now and done about 700 houses. We wholesale houses. We do full-on flips. We have a pretty decent-sized rental portfolio, about 50 properties. We give about, now it'll be about 11 Airbnbs that we're running. One's across the street, totally snowed in. So it's that's interesting problems we're having today. But so that's what we do. Now we started about 4 years ago. We opened a company called VestorPRO. I like how you butchered the name, Bill. Thank you. But it was
make it really easy for people to follow us.
So, but that's okay, because really the name we're most known for around the country is the Home Flipping Workshop, and we started that where we would travel to cities and we would, find a group of people to help, and we would do a 3-day workshop and people would enroll to work with us. And so we would really help them. We have a really high success rate of students who are successful. Now, the cool part is we thought we were going to be out of business when COVID hit, because literally we live in New York. And so everything is this is shutdown capital, and this in California, right? And when they said that live workshops were done, we were like, well, we're done. Like, I don't even know what to do. We spent 2 months licking our wounds and saying, do we shut down? What are we going to do? And so we had to figure it out. And all of a sudden I caught this little ad one day about doing a virtual seminar. And I said, who the hell is going to go to a virtual seminar
For 3 days?
3 days. We're going to sit on Zoom in a webinar for 3. Give me a break. And then it was summer. We sat by our pool and I was sitting there having a conversation. I said, let's think about it. Let's ask ourselves, is it possible? And so one thought led to another thought, led to another thought, and now we're doing virtual workshops. We're averaging 1 a month right now. We're gonna step it up, but we've done 5 of them. We have hundreds of people that come on and listen from all over the country. Actually, we have people that come from the world too, mostly from the U.S. But every now and again, we have a Germany or an England or something that pops in. And we've been able to impact. Our businesses went national overnight, and we are thrilled. We're excited, and it's been an unexpected surprise of 2020. I guess I'd say
we were kind of worried about the connection we would have with people over Zoom, and because when we're in a live setting, we're able to really talk to people and help them strategize and get to know them. And it's not that different on Zoom. It's been really, really good, and we found a lot of ways to make it really interactive and enjoyable. And people are just like eating it up with a spoon. And I think that COVID has really given people 2 different things. Some people are just out of work completely, and so they're looking for alternatives, and real estate is where it's at. And then other people may not be out of work, but it's given them a time to kind of pause and really decide what's important in their life. And even if they have a job, do they really want to go back to it, or do they want something different in their life? So the virtual workshop has been just amazing.
The last thing I want to say before, I'm sure you have questions for us, but for me, when I started this company, I realized that other seminar companies had people on the road and all that kind of stuff. And when I had a good friend of mine that said, listen, he said, I make great money, but I never see my family. He said, I'm out 45 weeks a year and whatever on the road, and I'm home 2 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's my weekend. And I said, my dream is to build a company where you can make great money, help a lot of people, and have a life. And so I said, and now never dreaming we'd be here where we do a workshop and we're all in our own beds at night because it's all virtual. I have my teams in Florida and California and in Austin or San Antonio and Utah, and they're all on virtually, and we're all killing it and doing a great job. And it's like We all get to go home to our families at night. And so that's been rewarding for us. We're building a team. I always hated when people went to a workshop and people say, you can have a life of your dreams. And by the way, I haven't seen my family for 7 weeks.
Right.
It's authentic, right? So,
well, maybe that is the life of his dreams.
yeah, I guess it's like your family, right, Bill? I guess it depends.
Yeah, it's amazing what Zoom has done with their updates. You can actually put people in separate rooms where you can put smaller groups together.
Yeah.
You can do exercises with, say, 8 people at a time.
Yeah.
You can have lunch together.
Yes.
Drinks,
happy hours,
Yeah.
all kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. I say that, but I still say that live is, to me, is the best.
Yeah.
for
Belly to belly.
for relationship building. But we're all involved in a couple of different mastermind groups, and they've been doing hybrid. So the people that want to come can come, and the people that want to do it from home can do it then too. And it works out pretty well for the people that are doing the broadcast, but not necessarily for the people that are in the audience.
Well, Bill, I would challenge that thought. And the reason I say it is because I thought the same thing. And we had over 1,000 people in our groups, and we're doing happy hours, and we're bonding with people. I feel a very strong connection to our people because we're doing the Zoom calls.
Sure.
And I just did a presentation at one of my masterminds, and my presentation was on how to build a virtual culture. And I said, you may not need to at what state you're in, but our flipping company called Signature Home Buyers, that company had to go virtual. So there was 15 or 12 people that had to work from home all of a sudden. And we started hiring people virtually over Zoom. So I never met them face to face, which is so not like me. I'm a belly to belly, face to face guy. I hired employees. My team hired employees. Then we had a pool party this year. They came to our house. When I met this one particular guy, Connor, face to face, it didn't feel hardly any different. It took me about a few seconds to go, oh yeah, you're the same guy I see every day. Because I was so used to the mannerisms. I was so used to the only thing I didn't have was the smell and the touch. Every other sense was pretty much there. Not that I'm touching my people, but it's just, but it's, besides
You can run for president.
But it was weird. It was like all of a sudden I realized, and so I've met a lot of people that I meet on Zoom, then I meet them face to face, and after I've had 10 conversations with you over Zoom, it's not that different. It's not exact, but it's pretty damn close.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you always hear that expression, oh, it's a small world, like if you run into somebody but Zoom has made it even smaller world because, like for us, with our real estate company, Signature Home Buyers, being virtual has opened up the talent pool because before we could only pick people, only hire people that were right here in our local area. But with the way that Zoom is and the way virtual is going, we're opened up to the whole U.S. and we're just finding some really rock star people to join our team, which is also really, really awesome.
So for us, it's been a big change, but for us, we wanted to have a mobile business. We wanted to be able to. Now, ironically, our goal is to live on the ocean in Florida, and I think today pretty much summarizes why.
After spending 45 minutes getting my 5-year-old and 7-year-old in their ski in their snow stuff, and then he walks in, he's like, "Hey, you guys ready to go?"
We do all the fun
stuff. Listen, I don't disagree with you on your Zoom comments, and I don't disagree with you on your Florida dreams either.
Because you share them.
Yes, he shares them for sure.
I'm ready to go down there with all the other retarees so I can wear those glasses that go all the way around the side of your head.
I'm going to buy some white pants and white shoes and be done with
it. So I'm interested in getting a little more information about what you mean when you say you're looking for people that are on your team. Can you give us a kind of day in the life of what a deal looks like for you and what your teams are like? Tell us a little bit about that.
So what teams do you want to talk about? So the home buying team?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
I want to hear about all of your teams. What are you doing? What are you doing?
So
not much.
We run 5 companies, but not much. 5 companies, 5 kids. My granddaughter's across the street right now from Arizona here. Crazy. So nothing going on really. One thing that's happened to us this year, I'll kind of describe our team overview. we have hired a company called Sharper Process, which has been amazing. I would highly recommend them to anybody. They kind of specialize in, they help businesses become a real business, if that makes sense, and not be so reliant on the owner. And by taking, without getting too much in the weeds here, they do a lot of personality tests, and I'm what's called a visionary. So on my PI test, I'm a visionary. It means I'm a big picture thinker. I hate details, and I've always known that. Like, I took a test and went, well, no kidding. I mean, I knew that. So
Squirrel.
yes, yeah, that's me, right? I'm like, new idea. Yeah.
Sound familiar?
Yeah.
What I found, there's a book you can read called What the Heck is EOS? And EOS stands for Entrepreneur Operating System, if anybody's heard of that. And for the tens of people that are watching. So there's Entrepreneur Operating System. So it's a great book, and it talks about having a visionary and integrator. So now all of our companies are starting to get integrators. So our two main companies, we have integrators. So the integrator for our signature home buyers, our flipping business, runs the day-to-day operation. So I really, over the past year, I'm stepping more and more out of the day-to-day operation of that business. And so Spencer Thomas is my integrator, and so he does all virtually, which is cool. So we have an acquisitions team. We do a lot of marketing. You know, we probably spend upwards of $30,000 to $40,000 a month in marketing. We do a lot of TV commercials and stuff like this. And I think we're going to do some radio stuff, but direct mail, that kind of stuff. So we're looking for off-market deals. And then those people will call in. Our home buying specialist will then, have a phone call with them, see if it's a viable deal, make them an offer. If it looks like there's a possibility, we send out one of our property inspectors, just someone takes pictures of the house and whatnot. So we do have to have boots in the ground with the house and take pictures of that kind of stuff. Come back and we decide what our game plan is going to be. Are we going to wholesale to other investors? Are we going to flip it ourselves? We're going to turn it to a rental, Airbnb. What are we going to do with it? And then we make that decision, and then we go from there. Then our team takes over, right? So Amber is involved. Amber loves the design part. She's an amazing.
Yeah, he's tried to get me out of that several times, but that's my favorite part. So I don't really want to get out of that. But in the beginning, we definitely wore all of the hats. And since our business has grown to the size it is, now we've gotten to delegate all of those responsibilities. And, it started out with signature home buyers, and then we've added these other companies that are really or kind of organic growth, and they're all very symbiotic companies. So we started out with signature home buyers. Did we have the broker?
I don't know. I think so.
Well, and then we did open a brokerage just because it made sense to sell our own properties. We have a local real estate networking group here that's about to go national, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
And then VestorPRO, and then our holding company with all of our real estate transactions. But they all kind of work together and help each other. So that's a really cool aspect.
It's organized chaos a lot of times in our world. That's kind of what that boils down to. But having the integrators makes a big difference. And then I said before, we have a project manager. They'll take over the project, whatever needs to be done in the project. And then we have our inside brokers that will sell that deal and on the next one. So we're, like I said, we will do, I think we'll do north of 100 deals this year, individual deals. Not, some people say they did 100 transactions when they buy and sell. It's 100 actual houses that went through our books this year. And that's just in the capital region of New York, just in the upstate New York area. That's the only market we're currently in. Because we're virtual, we're looking to expand, which we're excited about.
Sure. So I'm assuming you're, excuse me, whatever the deal calls for, that's where you're sending it to, right?
So you're a deal architect.
Yeah.
Why am I blinking above my head? Do you see
that? Battery.
It's like somebody's battery's getting low. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So we better hurry.
Well, thanks for coming today. We appreciate you, Glenn.
Yeah. No, you're a deal architect, and that's what makes the difference. Is you're figuring out what it wants to be when it grows up. That's really, really great. And we love EOS. We started EOS 4 or 5 years ago. It changed everything for us.
Totally.
Absolutely changed everything for us. We highly, highly promote it.
Yeah. And before we run out of power, which is, I should have changed the battery before we started as
You
well.
can do it now.
Good Lord. No, if I change the battery, it ends the broadcast.
Sorry.
So
the ultimate professional.
Yes. Once again. So,
the tens of people we disappointed.
I want to make sure that people get your information on, how to get into your coaching. So, Scott, if you don't mind, if you'll put their website up. But I want to talk about finding funding. There's a lot of people that want to do this. They're looking for private lenders. Do you have any tips you'd like to share on how to find private lenders? You can still hear me, right?
I can hear you.
It
says
We're just going to be. I'm going to be green. I'll be green. Jonathan, you want to be blue?
I'm going to choose white. That's going to be the purest I'll probably ever be.
We can wait for the battery pack or whatever. Whatever I do, you tell us.
Some tips on
finding
private lenders.
Some tips on how someone can identify private lenders and basically, get the money for their deal, most of it or all of it.
I didn't hear you. So I would say you're asking about how to find the money. Is that what you guys are saying? So what we teach at our workshops, we spend a good portion of one of the days, actually Friday afternoon, we have a good portion of one of the days that we talk about all the ways that we fund our deals. And they are anywhere from, ones that require credit to ones that don't require credit, right? There's creative financing, there's subject to financing, there's the owner financing. And then of course you've got your hard money lenders and private lenders. What we have personally done with our businesses, we run about $5 million in private lender funds. And this is what we just have always done. We started out many years ago in the banking industry. Remember, we started in 2007. The first two houses were with a bank loan and credit cards to fund the deal. So that's how we did the deal. And then all those programs went away, right? All that stuff went away. And they said, oh yeah, by the way, there's no more no income verification loans. As you probably remember, if you're in the market back then, everything got ripped away. And so we had to punt. I mean, literally, we're like, we had two houses under contract, and I'm like, I looked at Amber and said, well, what do we do now? We don't have any money to do these houses. We're out of money. And then one thing led to another, and we figured out how to do private lending. And we sent out a bunch of packets to our family and friends. Actually, it started out with a good friend of ours, and she said, oh, I wish I could invest in you guys. I don't have any money. And
she had a really nice house.
Yeah, Amber said, you have a nice house, though. And I said, do you have any equity in that house? She goes, oh, yeah, I think a couple $100,000. I said, do you have a line of credit? She goes, I think so. I go, is that right? And so she said, why? What do you think? And I said, I'm thinking if you're paying, I think it was 4%,
something like that,
for your home equity,
3 or 4%.
And at the time, I said, I'll pay you. At the time, I was doing 4 points and 14% because that was kind of the rates back then, right? And I was brand new, and I said, if I paid you that, so if you were making money on other people's money, so you're borrowing money from the bank, you loan it to me at another rate, and you're making 10% on money that's not your money, would that be a good deal? She's like, yeah. And so here we go. And she's been with us for 13 years now. And
she was able to put her kids through private school off of the interest.
Yeah. And awesome. We usually never left our pool. So we built this private lender base from there. We have other people that we pay. We're paying about 10%, no points anymore. We pay about 10% on the money. And, we're a very secure investor. We've been around for a long time. So people have a lot of faith and trust. And I've even lost some money on deals. I know no one ever talks about that, but we do. So we've made some mistakes and made some missteps. We've lost some money on deals. But the reason we've lost money, because we paid our investors. Right. We don't want to come. And I preach that from the stage. I preach it from Zoom. I preach it from everything. I said, if you're taking people's money and you make a mistake, that's your fault. Right. That's not their fault. Now, if they're a partner with you, that's a different arrangement, right? They're a partner. If they're taking the risk and the reward. If they're just loaning you money, that's on you. I said, you better go flip burgers and pay them off. Whatever you got to do, you pay them off because that'll keep our industry strong and keep the private lending. So that's what we do. That's how we fund our deals and all the flips we do and any buys we do. That's what we do.
Yeah, and real estate's been like super rewarding for us. Like Glenn said, when we started, we were $80,000 in credit card debt. We were sleeping on an air mattress in a 2-bedroom condo with. I actually sold my car. I had a little Mercedes that had $10,000 equity in it. I sold my car just so we could finish our third flip, I think it was. And it's been really, really rewarding. We have a lifestyle that we really enjoy. We love experiences. That's what it's kind of all about for us. But we found out that people would always come to us and ask us, how do we do it? And, get over the fear and all that. And the two things that really hold people back from real estate are, lack of money and lack of knowledge. And that's why we started the home flipping workshop. And we even teach people here locally as well as nationally. And people always ask us, why do you guys teach your own competition in your backyard? And Glenn and I just really believe in an abundance mentality instead of a scarcity mentality. And so we think that there's enough to go around for everybody. And we want to share that knowledge of, you know, how to get past the fear and how to gain the knowledge and how to fund the houses, even if you don't have a lot of money to start up with and all of that. And that's why we really, really love teaching people at the home flipping workshop.
Yeah, that's been a big, people come to our workshops, and if you look, we've got like 500 5-star reviews, I think. If you look at Home Flipping Workshop online, I think it was over 500 5-star reviews. I think we have one 1-star review because some guy didn't like the bathrooms in the hotel we're in. Like that has anything to do with me, but whatever. Other than that, it's all 5-star, and this is going over 4 years. And there's the one thing that really people leave the first day. I always say to them, okay, what's one of the first things I say on Friday is, you know, what's the most important part of a house? And they eventually get around to saying it's the foundation. And then I say, good. So what's the most important part of your business? And they say, well, me. Right. I say, so you are the foundation of your business. So if you're not strong and you're not whole as a strong foundation, you'll crumble just like a house will crumble. So let's work on you first, and then we're going to build up from there. So our 3 days, we take them through this process. And we work a lot on them. Friday morning is all about them. And after the first morning, they go, I never thought of it that way. And then when they think, they go, this actually makes sense. Just like you guys are saying, yeah, we use EOS. That's working on you. You know, anybody who's successful knows that if you don't have this right, you'll never get this right. You'll never have the dollars. The Benjamins will never come in if you don't get it right in your head and you understand money and just deal with all the crap we deal with. And we deal with crap day in and day out. I mean, every day I'm laughing because we're sitting here now in this snowstorm. We're thinking about all the Airbnbs we have, and we got people that are supposed to check in today, people supposed to check out today, and they can't each do that. Every day is a challenge, right? You keep your head about you. If you let it get to you, you'll want to just end it. You know, you'll be like, oh my God, jump off a cliff. But if you teach you how to deal with problems every day and think through them at a high level, you'll be much more successful. So once they understand that, they say, well, that actually does make sense. And
the other thing that's happened, though, that's really kind of been a shift is that more and more women are coming to the workshops. Yeah. And that's like super exciting for me because, you know, the whole like mom guilt thing is real. I don't know if you guys have kids, but the whole mom guilt thing is so real. But like for me, I love being able to, you know, do all the things that I want to do with my kids and take them to all their appointments and be at their school events and all of that stuff. But I like working. Like I like that fulfillment. I like that accomplishment. I like contributing to our goals for our future. And I like the example I'm setting for my kids while doing that. So, and real estate, you know, and flipping houses especially has been like really male dominated, and there's still a lot of guys in it. So don't get me wrong, but women have so many like natural skills just from their daily life that they can bring to real estate. And I like my common joke is, you know, managing a job site and contractors is a lot like running an adult daycare anyway. So, you know, there's just so many natural skills that women can transfer to real estate that makes it like such a good fit.
You know, we should probably mention, if it's okay with you guys, I think it launched yesterday or today. We have a new show that's going to be coming out called The Big Flipping Break. I don't know if you pull up thebigflippingbreak.com if that'll show it or not, but you can go to, I think, glennandamber.com.
Yeah, if you go to glennandamber.com, we have so many different companies that we decided to just kind of put everything in one place. So if you go to glennandamber.com, that has all of our links on where to follow us and podcasts and Instagram and Facebook. And all that.
We have a new show called The Big Flipping Break. And the Big Flipping Break is this. We are taking auditions now. We are going to pick one person or couple, whatever it is, and we are going to help them find a house. And then once they find it, we're going to take them under our wing. We're going to do the work. We're going to show them how to do the work and manage it through it. We're going to give them all the money for the purchase, all the money for the renovations, all the money for the holding costs. And at the end of the day, after we help them sell the house, we're going to split the profit 50-50 with them. So we're going to do a full show on that, and that's what we're going to do. It just launched. So again, I don't know if the bigflippingbreak.com will bring that up yet. It's brand new, but
that's Glenn and Amber. Yeah,
that's Glenn and Amber. Yeah. So there's that. So that may or may, the Big Flipping Break may or may not be on there.
It'll be on there soon.
Yeah. Yeah. From there, you can follow us on Facebook and whatnot, and you'll see it on there. So I don't know if it quite launched yet, but it'll be there. So yeah, so we're excited about that. Taking somebody start to finish and then giving them all the money. You know, my only fear about that, and you guys could relate to this. I wonder if they'll be as dedicated when it's not their ass in the line.
No,
our money's in the line, right? So I wonder. After I did this, I thought, I wonder if they'll be as motivated as we are.
They don't have any financial skin in the game, but their pride will be on the line because it'll be videoed.
It will be a show, so that's very true. Yeah, so it'll be exciting.
So are you going to be pitching that to any of the networks when you finish it?
Yeah, the company our marketing company has been they have a lot of connections. So yes, once we get it up and running, we'll see how that goes. You know, we've been interviewed a few times for shows and we never made the cut. I think it's because I'm just too damn attractive for TV and Amber doesn't make the cut.
That must be it.
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing.
Right? You understand.
So,
Okay.
the one thing you have to make sure is that they understand that buying a home, flipping it, and selling it only takes a weekend, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm like 6 weeks into 60 minutes.
Yeah, good point. Every time you watch those shows, people say, "Well, what's the flip? Is that your life?" I go, "Yeah, it's our life, except that's 6 months. It's not 30 minutes." So yeah, just so we're all clear on how that works. And plus, I love how they always know shows. Every deal's a home run. Oh, I was supposed to make 120. I only made 109. Shut up. I guess really. Why don't you show some of your fails once in a while? Because I know if you do enough of these deals, you're going to make mistakes. So I know.
That's awesome. What's funny is listening to you guys. You're talking the same language that we talk about on our shows constantly. We talk about the abundance and not scarcity. We want people to be as educated as possible. We love educating people. We want to do business with educated people because if we do, it makes life so much easier for us, right?
Absolutely.
It really does.
And there are plenty of deals to go around. And even if you teach somebody to do exactly what it is that you do, in most cases, and they actually follow through with it because we talk about this all the time. We teach people exactly what we do.
Yeah.
And 95, maybe 97% of them say,
good.
wow, there's a lot of moving parts here. Here, why don't you just do it for me?
Yeah.
And since we're in the lending business, that works out okay. But a lot of people are doing it passively. They just want to know how it works. But
plus, it's somebody that we can refer deals to that we don't do, or they'll refer deals.
Yeah,
to
eventually
us that
you'll do business with those folks that actually make a business out of it. So it always benefits you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very, very true.
That stuff back doesn't help anyone, really.
And the other thing is not everybody has astronomical goals either. Some people want to flip 1 or 2 or 3 houses a year. So even if in the same area, you're not all going to be looking for houses at the exact same moment.
That's right.
I think what you said too is that people sometimes dive in and go, "Oh, that's what you do, huh?" It looks like on TV.
I thought glamorous on TV.
I just bought it and sold it. And is that right? Is I just paint it? What do I do? There's a lot more. I always say to everybody, I say, if you want to do something where you make 50 grand a deal or 75 or 40 grand a deal, nothing in life worth anything is ever easy to achieve. And if people come to our workshops, my first thing I say is, if you're here for a get rich quick scheme, you misread everything.
Yeah.
I say all weekend long. I say this. We actually overnight them a packet. We overnight them a Federal Express packet they get for the workshop the day before. So they all get these things to hold the screen.
Their home flipping workshop toolbox.
Toolbox, we call it, yeah. And I have these trifolds, and one of the things that they hold up, I say, what we do is hard, but it's what? Everybody holds up a sign that says worth it. I say, what we do is hard, but it's worth it. I say it over and over. I said, if you ever leave here and say, this guy said I can make $1 million in the next year, so you're not listening. So it's work. I say, because we've built it in the hard market. Now it's, we never really experienced this kind of a market because we built it in the really tough times. Like people said, how are you building now? I'm like, I don't know any different. This feels like a normal thing to me. The guys who were before me in the big boom back then, those guys are all like, oh, it's hard now. And Amber and I are like, back in 2010, 2011, we're like,
it just is.
It just is. I don't know if it's harder. I don't know how to compare it to. So now it's now it's not easy either, because now I think you opened the show saying there's 1 billion people looking for houses right now. So that's our struggle now. It's not hard to sell them. It's hard to find them. Right. We still find our phone rings a couple hundred times a month, but it still is a struggle. Now we're pretty high profile in our area. So people that, they're like, oh, is Signature Home Buyers in this deal? I'll pay you $1,000 more than they offer. Like we do all the hard work.
I think
whatever.
When you're, and I find that a lot of people that listen to the podcast are people that are kind of on the fence. Like they want to do real estate, but they can't quite make it over to the hump. And I think if you just look at it from a different perspective, yeah, it's hard, but it's going to your job and getting up every single morning and and
Hating it.
hating it and having to ask for time off and ask to go on vacation and ask,
Right.
take your kids to a doctor appointment. That's not easy either. So,
Yeah.
think about what's really hard. So I think, if you can like wrap your mind around just because something's different doesn't make it better or worse. It's a different path, but
Right.
it's a much better path if you can just get over the hump of being uncomfortable for a little bit.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
And you also have to avoid the fear of failure, because there are a few people out there that are education junkies. They will get all the education in the world, and it is education, but your true education is actually doing it. Because you can only be taught so much by videos and books and workshops, but you have to get your hands dirty before you really learn all there is to know about it. And your confidence gets better as you do these things, but you have to make that step. You have to start that, or you're just going to, what did Larry call it? Shelf help.
Yeah.
So you buy a course, go to the
Shelf help?
Like book yours.
You say shelf help?
shelf help.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, good one. Yeah.
So it's interesting that
Well, I can't take that one. I stole it from somebody else.
Larry Goins.
Fair enough.
it's so interesting that you brought that point up, and we also agree with that wholeheartedly, because the students that we bring on, not only do we give them real estate education, but we actually have coaches that are, we call them peak performance coaches, that are just designed to work on their mental health and help them get past the fear and help them find the roadblocks and move past the roadblocks that are keeping them from moving forward.
I think that's why we have such a high success rate. You know, it's never 100%. I mean, people still have to do the work. Were we born, Wendy?
Yeah.
Were you that bad? That's enough. I'm tired of that guy from up north.
Too much of this, apparently.
But no, we spent time on that mental side big time, because we figure that changes the game.
It does.
No, you all are 100% right. I mean, it's the failure to take the risk and execute is what stops everyone. I mean, that's, we see that every day with people. I mean, you can identify good properties, you can find good properties, but there's so many people I talk to, like, I just can't sleep knowing that if I fail, I have to pay this back.
Right.
It's like, then you don't have the right mindset for this.
Sometimes it's a pride thing too.
Yeah.
Where I've never made a mistake. I'm not going to start now.
Yeah.
Every day, so I'm ready.
We did have a question from Mark here, and he was asking about EOS, and he was wondering, is it a concept, a company? Are there companies? Well, I would say, Mark, read the book Traction. Yeah. And Traction is basically, it is a concept, but it's, if I can just put it in a thumbnail, it teaches you to give up. What are you laughing at?
I wasn't tired of you guys, I promise. I drank a bottle of water and this frou-frou coffee while you were sitting.
Those fast talking Northerners, I'm tired of them. I'm done.
So yes, we're very professional in what we do.
When you gotta go,
so
gotta go.
So Mark, it's called the Entrepreneur's Operating System, because it teaches you how to run a business and not be what we call a highly paid technician. You, as the business owner, as the visionary, you need to get up out of the weeds and be able to delegate to others the stuff that's, let's say, not necessarily
that doesn't
stuff
need your
that
expertise.
you like to do,
Yeah.
stuff that you could pay somebody a lot less money to do. And at the same time, you need to be out of the weeds so you can actually be the visionary. If you're constantly in there putting out fires, you never get a chance to actually have the big ideas, because your brain is constantly wrapped around what's going on in the next 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I like what Amber said. She said that they tried to take away her decorating thing that she loves to do. And that's the important part of this is, there are things that you do and that you do well and that other people can do. But don't take away the stuff that you love too. That's right. That's important to keep your
That's
brain.
why you're in business.
That's
because
right.
You want to do what you love doing.
All right.
For sure.
That was good stuff.
And there are companies that help facilitate it. We use a company called Sharper Process that Glenn mentioned earlier, and they actually run our company meetings, and they run, our quarterlies, and they really have the whole EOS system dialed in.
Yeah, that's Gary Harper, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Gary Harper.
Yeah, Gary and Susan are great.
They are.
I never dream, again, that's investing in yourself, right? This stuff's not free, but it's so, for us, we did it back in July. So we're pretty new to the concept, but we were very welcoming to it. When they came in, and we've seen.
In a short amount of time, we've seen major changes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. Just having a way to run a meeting, a level 10 meeting, right? Just to know how to run a level 10 meeting was like, wow, no one's just blabbing on forever. We're getting through this stuff, and it's not politicking, and it really is.
We're actually making progress instead of just fighting about stuff.
Instead of being, again, the best description is instead of being in the mud, spinning your tires, and you're kind of going forward, back. Now you have traction, and hence the book. So.
And traction isn't the best read in the world. It's not so easy, but I love the book that you talked about. What the heck is EOS? That's a great way to start.
Rocket Fuel's another good one.
Oh yeah. What's funny, guys? When we hired the integrator for VestorPRO, VestorPRO is the company that puts on the home flipping workshop, and she came on as a possible advisor to us, one of the real estate advisors to help our new students. And the more I talked to her, I was like, man, this girl's sharp. And I said, let's have some conversations. So we talked for a month, and I said, I'm looking for another person to be what's called an integrator. She says, what's an integrator? I said, I want you to read What the Heck is EOS? So she read that book. A week later, she said, I'm interested. And I said, okay, so now I want you to read Rocket Fuel, because that would describe our relationship, the relationship between the visionary and the integrator. And I said, you need to understand what this relationship's like. You have to be okay being number two. You have to be okay with that. And some people, like I'm not, but she is. So as she read that book, and with over a month's period of time, it wasn't like we just had an interview and said, there, now you're my integrator. I use those books. I did say Traction's a tougher read, but that kind of gives you a detailed version if you want. But those two books, What the Heck is EOS and Rocket Fuel, really will condense it. And then after she read that, I was like, I let that work. I let those books do the work for me. We put her through the PI index, and it came back she'd be a great integrator. And it was like, I was waiting patiently to get her results. I'm waiting. And I was stressed one night, and my CFO said, what's your problem? You're all amped up. And I said, I don't know what I'm on. She goes, you want that to be a good fit? I go, I do. I said, my gut feels right about her. Everything feels right. If she goes back as a 2, I'm just going to lose my mind.
Now, funny story, because, we went through the PI index, and I was also, so Glenn is like unmeasurable on the PI index. He's like off the charts visionary, and then like
off the charts risk taker.
Yeah. And I was also visionary, but not to the near extreme that he was. And so I fit really well. Like they said, you guys are like the perfect marriage in life and in business, because, he's the visionary and you could be the integrator. But part of the whole EOS system is not only are you capable of doing the job, but do you want it?
Right.
And that's been in my relationship working together. I didn't want it. So.
Well, Gary did do something funny. He took our personality profiles in front of our whole team, and he laid them over top of each other. He said, now I want to explain something to you guys. These personalities, when they are on, they're on. They're a machine. They can accomplish anything. He said, when they fight, I can sell tickets. That sums that relationship up. So
that's pretty funny. Wait.
And so true.
For those of you who are listening, all tens of you, when you're a small business, you are going to wear many hats. There's no way around it. But as you grow, the only way you're going to be able to grow and get out of your own way is to figure out EOS, learn about it, and then be able to delegate a little as you go. And I'm telling you, you start off as a leaf blowing around, in some water with no rudder. And then when you go through EOS, and I always suggest you have an implementer come in and do it. You don't try to do it on your own.
Yeah.
Because those folks understand this. They ask the right questions.
Yeah.
They will pull out questions you didn't even know you had questions about in the first place. And it will steer that ship. So instead of just making the paycheck to pay your bills at the end of the month, you actually have goals that you can set and achieve. So it's an awesome system. Guys, I know we kind of got off topic of your business, but it's nice to know that we're all following basically the same building blocks and models, and that's to build a solid business in the first place, right?
Yeah, that's what we're all trying to do in the first place. We're all trying to have a business we can. I mean, for me, we want something that I can have the pride of owning it, saying we built it, and be able to step away. I see you guys know about passive income. So are we.
Yeah.
Since I've been 19, I've been into passive income. I'm 50. I'll be 52 here in a week or 2 weeks, and I'm.
You're getting old.
I know, what's up with that. My grandchild's across the street, so what the heck happened with that? So I'm, that goes on. But the passive income has always been. I was in a security and alarm company. My first company was when I was 19 years old. I opened my first company, and that was for 14 years. An alarm company which had passive income. People paid a monthly monitoring fee. Yeah. I like those monthly checks. I got used to that early, and then I sold that business. I went into network marketing for the promise of having residual income. Did that for 2 companies over 10 years. So 5 years with one company, 5 with another. And I built up some decent residual income. What I found is you just got to keep grinding in those businesses to keep the money coming in, or quickly it drops off. So we started building our rental portfolio and building our business to be a passive income too. People don't think of it that way, but if you build a business where you can step out of the business and let that run and not have to, if I could leave for 3 or 4 months at a rip and still get a sizable profit check from that, that's passive income.
Yep.
So again, that's what we're all building, right? And I think people start with one house, and some people only want, like Amber said, they want to do a few. But if you want to turn that into an empire and start getting rental portfolio and all that kind of, the rental income is great. And then the Airbnb, there's work that goes with that, but we hire that out. Actually, our 21-year-old son manages that portfolio for us.
It's so important to know what you're good at, though. And as a visionary, like you were saying, Bill, you do wear all the hats in the beginning, but when your company gets to a certain point, then the visionary is just a distraction. And that's what Glenn kind of turned into at a lot of our companies. So our 21-year-old son and I actually run the Airbnb business, and we fired him. We're like, you have to get out of this business. You're just too distracting. You're, heads all over the place. But I think that's important in any business.
I'm with Wendy. I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm not going
to. There's a question, just do you. And if own what you're good at, figure it out, own it, and then make the best of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sure you put it in a nice way instead of just firing him. You said, we're going to give you. Oh,
yeah. He's not nice to me at all, just so we're clear.
I was going to say, here's the easiest way to do it. We're going to give you some you time so you can think about the big picture.
That's what we said. Yeah.
Pretty much said, you're fired. I go, huh? Yeah. She's just get. I'm like, yeah. Okay. What? And sure, we're doing just fine. Because as a visionary, I don't know which one of you guys is a visionary in your business, but is Bill's at you or no?
Well, it's actually a little bit of all of us.
Okay. So you guys know visionaries can get their nose in, and we can be very distracting and go, hey, how about this? Hey, how about that? Let's try this. Let's try that. That's what we do. And we're the worst at that. I've had to, they all look at me, my implementers now look at me and go,
See, that's where your integrator is very important.
Yes.
Because they can take all those ideas, because you're going to have a ton of them.
Yeah.
And some of them are going to be really good, and some of them are just going to stink.
Yeah.
Or they're really good, but we can't do it now. And they can go in there and they have permission to say, yeah, that's great. That's for next quarter. Yeah, that's not going to work. We're not doing that at all.
Yeah.
That's way away from our focus. So it's nice to have, you need to have somebody in there that has permission to prioritize all the great ideas we have, right?
Yeah. That's a good question. Older. So you guys mind if we take that question?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you say near retirement. So I'm 52. I don't know what that means.
Everybody else can see the question, so read the question.
Well, they can probably, okay. So
not everybody else can see it if they're hearing. That's understanding. Can older individuals near retirement age get into this business?
Yes, very much. We have students that are close to 80. It really depends. It depends on you, where you are, what your risk tolerance is. Age is just a number. I mean, it really is. Age is a number. I'll be 52 here. I swear I still feel like I'm 25 in my head half the time. Now my body and my back reminds me that I'm not, but for the most part, mentally speaking, I feel very young.
And it depends on someone's aptitude, where they are in their where they are in their health, where they are in their energy levels, and all of that. You know, Glenn's mom is 80.
Should be 84 here, March.
And she's a bull. Like, I mean, I wouldn't tangle with her. She's a tough woman, and she could totally flip a house and handle contractors and everything. However, we had a woman that came to one of our workshops, and she had to be in her 80s, and she was just the cutest little thing I've seen in a long time. And I actually told her that I didn't think flipping houses would be a good fit for her, because I think the contractors would have eaten her up and spit her out for breakfast. She would have gotten so taken advantage of. But so I think it's really dependent. I don't think age, and that's the great thing I think is about real estate, is it doesn't matter if you're young or old. It doesn't matter if you're a man or it doesn't matter. You don't have to have a license or a special college degree or some sort of massive educational background. If you just have like the drive and the willpower and the knowledge to do it.
Yeah.
Well, one of the big advantages to investing in real estate of any kind is that you still have a solid asset that is backing up your investment. If you're trying to make money in the stock market, what do you have if it goes south?
Right.
Not a lot. So you have downside protection when you're in real estate, because you do have a tangible asset,
right?
And it's highly unlikely that you're going to lose all your principal when you're investing in real estate, no matter what market is. Even in 2008 and 9, the worst markets lost 50%. If you're in the stock market, I know a lot of people who lost almost everything.
Yeah.
Because they chickened out and sold when it was at the bottom, right. And weren't able to take advantage of when it came back up.
Yeah.
And again, it's just paper that you're backing in the stock market. So
right.
I always say, your principal's insured. In a real estate investment, your property's insured. Think about that. Now, I say you have to try really hard to lose money in real estate. If you want to lose, you can lose, but you have to try hard to lose it all. You have to really, I don't even know what you would do, because if you have to destroy a piece of actual property. You have to fill it full of oil and old dinosaur bones. I don't know what you would do. You have to, it's a piece of property. So you really have to, how do you damage that? That has value no matter what you do. And even if a house burned down and you decide you wanted to save the $600 a year and not get insurance, which would be a bonehead move. Let's say you did that. You're still left with that. Like you said, you've got a piece of property, you have a foundation, you've got utilities going to it. You've got something that's worth money right there. So it is hard. I agree. It is hard to lose.
The people though that do lose are the ones that are making really emotional decisions, and they're going in a house and guessing. We've been offered houses right here in Schenectady for $1. And people are like, oh, that's a good deal. The city just wanted to get them off of their books. But because of the restrictions in Schenectady, and you have to bring everything up to code, the numbers still didn't work.
Yeah, wow.
These houses were not a deal even at $1. So we teach people how to make calculated decisions so that they can move forward with confidence and not be so risky.
That's smart. I see a lot of people losing money when they're trying to squeeze the nickel and the dime.
Yes.
Or they're trying to find the cheapest person that can do the job for them. I've seen them lose a lot of money.
Usually they lose the most money. Yep.
Yeah, thinking that they're saving money instead of making smart decisions.
Well, either they lose money on the deal, or they lose money on future deals that they don't get because of how they treat people.
Yeah, and the time that it takes. You hire a handyman contractor that really can't handle the job. How long does it take them to finish it? Or they try to do the work themselves. Do you really want to go out and buy a paint sprayer? Come on.
People think they're saving all this money on labor by doing the work themselves, but if they're out there being a weekend warrior, it's going to take them 6 or 9 months or a year to finish a job that would take a contractor 6 weeks to do it. So the money that you think you're saving, you're just, you're totally losing.
Yeah. Right.
Well, listen, we don't want to keep you guys all day, although I know you can't go anywhere because you're held hostage by the snow. But I just wanted to make a comment about how sad it is that getting a home for $1, thanks to the regulations and restrictions from a municipality, you still can't get the damn numbers to work.
Yeah, and that's sad. Very true.
We always like to talk about return on effort, and if it's too much effort involved, then it's time to move on anyway.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for putting up with our
professionalism.
professional manner.
Oh, listen, when I can talk to tens of people, it's so worth it.
Anytime I get to hear a Southern accent, since I was at Texan, I just love it. So it's all good.
Nice to hear that now and again, right?
Absolutely.
Listen, thank you so much for joining us. Folks, thank you, the tens of you that are on air. This has been what is the name of our show?
It is passive.
No,
it's
passive income,
active wealth.
See, you're trying to every time.
All right. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, hit the bell, all that good
Tell
stuff.
all your friends.
Our website is carolinahardmoney.com. And listen, we'll talk to you guys next week. I'll make sure I have fresh batteries before I start the show. Take care.
See you guys.